106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
600 North Mont, Department 4, open 911 line. Any Hellbeck units at 200, 1779 and RD 457.
So you've got to admit, ever since those James Bond movies when we were kids, we've loved to play spy. Even better is all the spy gadgets. Old Jimmy Bond had all the cool toys and he got all the hot chicks. Well, I can't help you with the hot chicks, but I think I found a piece of cool spy gear that you'll find useful. Best of all, it's pretty damn affordable and it's packed with features that will get you all tingly inside. Let's take a look. Maybe you saw my video about the OneLeaf NV200 Night Vision Monocular and the rapid fire scope that it attaches to. If not, here's a link to that video and you can check out that video after you're done watching this one. I was really genuinely impressed with the quality of that scope and the night vision device. And I was even more impressed with the fact that I got first shot hits on steel at 100 yards in pitch black darkness, right after mounting the scope on my rifle. A lot of you went to OneLeaf's site and you bought the night vision and the scope, and from what I heard back from viewers, they were as impressed with the gear as I was. Well, OneLeaf noticed you guys blowing up their site to buy cool spy sniper stuff, and they recently contacted me again and asked if I'd like to check out their new night vision binoculars. Wait a second, binoculars that I can see in the dark while recording live video? That sounded pretty badass, and the image they sent me looked like something Bond would use to scope out scantily clad villain chicks on a sinister island compound. I told the guy at OneLeaf I'd be happy to try them out, and just like when they sent me the NV200 rifle scope night vision, I told him I would give them a fair shake. If they sucked, I wouldn't hold back, and I'd say so. In the short time I've been reviewing gear on YouTube, I've learned that you guys watch these videos and often buy gear based on my recommendations after testing. I take that pretty seriously, and there's no way I'm going to talk up a piece of crap just because some company sent it to me. You guys deserve good stuff that could one day help save your lives or the lives of your family, and I take that pretty seriously. The best part is, unlike so many gear reviewers that only test $1,000 pieces of equipment, these binoculars are coming in at $369 at the time of this filming. Right after I got the package in the mail, I had to leave town and go with Mrs. OG to a judges conference in San Francisco. I took all of my video making gear, but of course I couldn't make videos about guns in that nutty town. I figured it's bad form to be shooting up and down the alleys in the middle of the night. But it's the perfect place to spy on some hobos after dark, and that's just what I did, kinda. I cracked open the Find NV200 package at the hotel restaurant one morning. I was immediately impressed by all of the accessories that come with this that make this such a great deal. You of course get plenty of instruction sheets for all the different parts, including the optional laser rangefinder. Now I had to throw out all of the instruction manuals because I'm a man and we don't read such things. There was an Allen wrench for attaching the laser rangefinder. There's plenty of cleaning cloths. There was a nice big felt bag to store your night vision binoculars in, but I chose a different option. I'll show you here in a minute. It comes with a nice thick padded neck strap that I found invaluable when I was using these on a rooftop of a hotel 10 stories above the ground. Then I found the laser rangefinder, and having not read the instructions, it took me a minute to find out what it was and how to attach it. The Find NV200 comes with a USB-C charging cable, so you can just plug your binos into any outlet or computer to juice up the 3 rechargeable Samsung 18650 batteries. When I took the actual binos out of the box, I noticed right away how solid they feel. They aren't a cheap toy made by kids in some Asian factory. These things had some real heft to them, and the overall build quality was awesome. The plastic housing was quality stuff, and the rubber buttons and the viewfinder were like scuba quality. With my eyes closed, these things could have been high-dollar binos from Leica or Swarovski. With my eyes open, the binoculars look like something the Mandalorian would be carrying across a spacey desert. It's tough not to notice the single lens and the covered lens right next to it. I found out that for day use, the single lens is all you want. At night, you just unscrew this aluminum lens cover to expose the second night vision lens. The cover is tethered to the body of the binos with a short cord, so you can't lose it. The rangefinder is optional and can be bought for an additional $159, but I'm not sure why you wouldn't just buy the combo set and mount it to the binoculars and then just leave them there. And that's what I did. Attaching them was super simple. It was like a one-piece jigsaw puzzle, which is the only kind I can finish. Just press the rangefinder into the copper contacts and tighten the single Allen screw, and you're done. Like any guy exploring a new toy, I took off the battery covers, which was easy to do with these little D-ring screws. One side holds 2 of the rechargeable Samsung batteries, and the other side holds 1 more. And about these batteries, the advertised battery life on that NV200 rifle scope claimed to be about 6 hours on one of these batteries. I found that 3 hours was probably more accurate. But after I charged these Find NV200 binoculars overnight, I ran these things over 4 nights of testing and plenty of daylight messing around too. And right now I'm still on about 80% battery life. It's pretty clear that a full battery charge will get you through an entire night of use without turning them off or boosting the batteries halfway through your tactical operation of watching the neighbor's cat shit in your yard. On the right side of the binos, there's a snug little rubber door that hides a headphone jack, a mini HDMI port, the 64 gig micro SD card that OneLeaf includes with the purchase, and a USB-C port for charging your binos. Here's another impressive thing about OneLeaf. When I tested the NV200 rifle scope, I took that micro SD card out of the night vision device and put it in my computer to pull off all the video I'd recorded on the range that night. Well, the video was saved in some goofy format that I had to convert to MP4 files before I could use them on my computer. And here we are just a few months later, and they fixed this problem. I simply pulled the micro SD card from the binos after recording for several days, and I dumped the photos and video right onto my computer. No apps to convert the video or anything like that. Big props to OneLeaf for quickly fixing one of the very few problems with that early generation night vision device. The mini HDMI port allows you to hook your binos directly to a computer, external digital monitor, or TV to watch what you're seeing in the viewfinder. I'm not really sure when you'd use a feature like this, but it's nice to know that it's there if you need it. On the bottom of the NV200, there's a small release lever that you just pull down to unscrew the primary night vision lens. OneLeaf includes a 35mm removable lens, but they will be offering a 50mm, a 70mm, and a 100mm lens very soon. Tucked down in between the lenses is a visible red laser. This is of course different from the IR beam. Just like on their NV200 Commander scope, the red laser helps you get the binos on target, and it can be used by your spotter to direct your line of sight to the target that he's just identified. Now, the visible laser is, of course, visible. It's right there in the name. But to assure you don't give away your position accidentally, OneLeaf includes this tiny rubber laser cover, so even if you somehow activate the laser, the cover will keep it from showing downrange. The laser is super visible in IR mode, and just like any old red laser you tease your cats with, in the dark with the IR turned off, it's very easy to find. Be careful though. It's just as easy for your opponent to find and trace back to your position. Now, instead of using the included felt bag to store my NV200, I went ahead and put it inside this little tote bag that Smith & Wesson was generous enough to provide me so that I could hit the streets of San Francisco well armed with some night vision binoculars. So let's look at the operation of these things. Turning on the Find NV200 is easy, even for a dumbass like me. Just press and hold the center power button until the movie theater-like screen turns on. You'll most likely be in daylight mode when you first turn them on, and you can easily tell because if the picture is in color, it's in daylight mode. Now let me be upfront about these things. If you're looking for a pair of regular day-use binoculars, these aren't the ones you want. There are many better, lighter, and cheaper options out there for just like glass in a field or looking for deer or checking out your neighbor as she lays by the pool. But these binos will record what you're seeing in 4K. And that's right, All 4 of the Ks are included. If you have rangefinder attached and activated, which is easily done by pressing the power button for a long second, you're going to see a yellow bracket box and the flag in the top right corner of the screen indicating that the rangefinder is active. You press and hold the IR button to switch to night mode. The basic setting is just an ambient light collector. There's no IR beam being projected out the front. Then you just click the IR button again to start increasing the power of the IR beam, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. The next button down on the right side is the picture-in-picture invisible laser button. A quick press turns on and off the laser, and you'll see the laser on indicator on the right side of your screen. A long press turns on the picture-in-picture mode. While this seems like kind of a fluffy, goofy feature, it's actually kind of cool, and it lets you zoom in on a target with high-power magnification in the little box, while the majority of your screen scans the area around it, giving you a heads up if like other animals or people are approaching the target that you're focused in on. And that's pretty good thinking on OneLeaf's part, kind of a neat little feature. The bottom right button is the menu button. Unlike some cameras or new TVs, this menu button is pressed once to get a scrolling menu of options, like what frame rate you want to record in. By the way, OneLeaf told me after I was done recording a bunch of footage in San Francisco that the best night clarity comes from recording in 4K 30. So I had to go back and record a bunch of other stuff to get a little bit clearer picture. Oh, it's time to go. Gotta catch that plane to Miami. Using the menu button, you can easily set your still picture size, turn on and off the picture-in-picture function, set your camera to a different lens power, change the units from yards to meters. You can set the record time, you can adjust the brightness of the LCD viewfinder, and they also give you full control over whether or not you record sound with your video. That's right, you can record everything that you're seeing in the screen, day or night, with sound. So you're hearing ambient sounds, but you're also hearing maybe your own narration. And we'll take a look at that in just a second too. I met a drunk guy on a rooftop and he did a lot of talking in the microphone. It lets you set the date format and of course set the time in 12 or 24-hour formats. You can format your SD card when it's brand new very easily. And if you get completely lost, you can reset the entire NV200 binos to factory settings and give it another try. But these things are so simple that even I figured them out without really even looking at the paper instruction booklet. On the left side controls, the top button is for clicking in more magnification in 1/2 power increments from 0 to 20 power. So there's essentially 40 settings you can zoom to. Keep in mind that the more zoom you click in, the grainier your video or your pictures will be. Jiggling this machine too much, I'm going to try and zoom in on it. We're up to 4.5, 6 times zoom, 6.5, 7. Holy crap, that van actually has a parking boot on it. Look at that. Illegally parked. Real good, him. I kept my binos on the 0 to 1 power settings most of the time and could easily see detail in pitch dark conditions with amazing clarity. Okay, we found an even darker area. Yes, there's some ambient light in the background from the city, but I'm out here in a very dark train tracks area. Seeing an individual here who is waiting for the train to Boston, sitting right on the tracks just so he doesn't miss the train. Now look at that. The individual just lit a cigarette while he waits, and look at how the NV200 amplifies the tiny little light off of the cherry of a cigarette. The bottom button on the left is the OK button to choose a setting in the scrolling menu, but it will also toggle your NV200 between still camera and video camera with a long press of the button. OneLeaf has these buttons nicely recessed, so with a little familiarization, just a little bit of practice, it's easy in the dark to find the right button without tilting the binos and actually looking at the buttons. The buttons are illuminated, but they aren't too bright where they're going to give away your position to like Taliban raiders as you sneak through their cave in the Hindu Kush. If you want, you can even turn off the illumination behind the buttons for complete ninja stealth. I use the NV200 on a tripod mostly because with a little zoom, the image can get pretty bouncy unless the binos are stabilized and not in your nervous, sweaty, shaky hands. When I was on the hotel rooftop, I clipped on the neck strap so I wouldn't drop them 10 stories onto the street below. Another hotel guest was on the rooftop smoking and sipping a cold adult beverage. I think he had been overserved earlier in the evening because his speech was a little slurred and he had a little tilt to his walk. He got really interested in the binos since I was talking to myself while recording. He came over and told me he knew a lot about night vision, so I let him try them out. He didn't use the neck strap, and I thought he was going to drop the binos over the edge more than once. In this video, you can hear his reaction to the clarity and the reach of the binos as he tried them out while we were ranging an apartment building about 400 yards away in complete darkness using this cool little add-on rangefinder.
Holy shit. Alright, so I see where the laser is actually hitting.
I can see it out there on the side of that dark building.
Damn.
400 yards away. So once again, OneLeaf impressed me with the build quality and the usefulness of this product, and I have plans to keep it and use it at the future OG Danger compound. I think it'll be fun to use it scouting out through the woods looking for animals and chupacabras that might be sneaking up on my position. If you think these night vision binoculars would be useful for you, I encourage you to use the link in the description below this video to buy a set of your own. It'll take you directly to OneLeaf's website where you will order and pay for them, and they will ship directly to you wherever you are. While you're doing this, you'll help OG's Danger Show with a little side commission, and your help will directly prevent me from joining this guy out in the field living out of a shopping cart, while you're also getting a great piece of equipment that I know you guys are going to love. Well, I'm going to wrap this up and get out of here. I appreciate you guys stopping by and listening to a review of a non-firearm related item. This is a piece of gear that I think all of our friends, even in Canada and the UK, are going to love. So I encourage you guys to check them out if you think they would be useful to you. If you'd like to help support the show, you can use our Patreon link below this video. You can also buy merchandise below this video. Some cool OG Danger Show merchandise, and help support the show. Remember, things are getting nutty out there, and I encourage you, as always, to stay armed where you are legally allowed to do so. And until our next video, OG out.